Hello YouTube, Lance here with Just Fishing. We're out here in Mayport, off of Mayport in Sisters Creek. Gonna do a little bit of fishing on a Friday. It's too nice today not to be on the water. So as you can see, we're up in the creek. Got a sailboat beached over there. That's been there a while. That was here last time I was in Sisters Creek. We got also have incoming tide, so I'm not sure how good we're gonna do today. I normally like to fish on outgoing tide, but we're gonna give it a shot. Got shrimp in the live well, got mud minnows in the live well. As you can see there, got them at B&M Bait Tackle. Anything you want, you can get at B&M. Let me turn the bubbler on, get the bubbler going. So let me get this situated, get the bubbler. So anything you want, you can get there at B&M. So we're gonna ease up into one of these creeks, fish around some oyster beds. I know my way around here pretty good. So we're gonna fish around some oyster beds, see what's we can come on. Gonna use a fish finding rig, gonna use a jig, and see if we can't catch something. Like to catch a redfish. If I get some fish today, get them filleted and everything, I'll run over to Singleton's and get some lunch. So it's about 9:30 in the morning. Let's see what we can do. Let's see, here's our fish finding rig. Got a weight, little 1 ounce weight, a bead to protect the knot, swivel, hook. The way I like to hook these shrimp, you can either hook them through the head, like this, right through the head, and come up through, or you can hook them back at the tail. So either way it works pretty good. So let's see what we got. Throw it over here. There's a big oyster bed right over there. So I don't know if you can see that. You can see a piece of it sticking up, but there's the oyster bed right there. Let's throw over here with a shrimp. Give it a shot. My next bait's gonna be the same rig, fish finding rig, but I'm gonna put a mud minnow on it. And you hook the mud minnow right up through the front lip, just like you would a mullet. Fishing this point right here, mud minnow and a shrimp. See if we can't get bit. A lot of mullet jumping around. Tide's coming in, so I will. I'm gonna move up, but I'm gonna fish this point real quick right here in this grass. Tide coming in, like I was saying, and I'm gonna move up inside there. Mullet going everywhere. Normally where there's the bait, there's the fish. So we'll see what happens. No bites on this point so far. Gonna have to move. I don't know if you can see that on the GoPro, but dolphin have moved up into that point on that flat, and either they're feeding on bait or they're spawning, but they're doing something up there on that flat. So I'm sure they've scared off all the fish, or redfish or trout or whatever was up here feeding on mullet. There was mullet jumping around and splashing and feeding some blow-ups, but now that these dolphin are moved in there, they don't seem to be real big, but they've moved in. Like I said, that's a big flat. I wanted to move up in there and fish. Now that's high tide and the water's coming in, but they're up there splashing around. So I'm not sure. I think they're breeding. I don't think they're eating or feeding on mullet, because I don't see any mullet flying anywhere, but their fins are coming out of the water and they're flapping around everywhere. So it's pretty crazy. Never seen that before. So we need to move. I'm sure they've scared everything off here. No bites so far. Tried that point right on the edge of the point. There's an oyster bed right on that point. I didn't get any bites there with a shrimp or a mud minnow. And tried in that cove, all up and along that grass bed, and right over here to this little point right here, and there's an oyster bed right out here. It's high tide, so you can't really see it, but I know this area pretty good. But there's an oyster bed right here. I've got a mud minnow right there on the edge of it with a fish finding rig, and then I have a I caught pogies the other day when I was offshore, and I put them in the freezer. And if you watch my previous video, you see where I talk about that. When I was offshore fishing, that's when I caught the sea bass. I caught 3 sea bass. One wasn't legal. The other was hit by a shark. You can see the marks in the video. And the other one was a keeper. So, like I said, I netted pogies that day. What I didn't use that day, I brined them up and put them in the freezer. So I have this rod right here. I have a cut pogie on it. Cut the head off, cut the tail on it. Cut the tail off, I'm sorry, can't talk today. And got it sitting out there right on the outside of that oyster bed. So let's see what happens. So if I don't get bit here pretty soon, I'll move, try a couple of these other points here. Like I said, it's incoming tide. So I like the fish, said that earlier, I like the fish outgoing tide. So we'll see. Let's see what happens. Didn't get any bites back up there on the oyster bed, so I moved back here in the back this creek, about 1.8 feet of water. Little creek goes all the way back up in there. You can see back up in there that where the creek is, that creek feeds right through here. So I'm gonna fish this side and fish this side. Got a shrimp on this pole, mud minnow on this pole, fish finding rig like I told you earlier. Not sure what all them birds are doing way back there. But they're circling around in there for something. I'm not sure what they're doing. Well, that's a lot of them. But we're gonna fish this little creek here. Feeds into this sister's creek, so we're gonna see what's going on here. See if we can't get bit. This little creek feeds out here. I was mentioning that earlier. 3-4 feet deep right in here. As this creek comes in between the two grass. Piece of wood right there. Fished all this really hard. Mud minnow, shrimp. Didn't get any bites or anything. I thought there might be something laying in this little channel. It's like 1 foot deep over here, 1 foot deep, and then it's 4 feet. This creek, and if you follow that all the way back in there, there's a pond back in there. But I've never been back in there. This is about as far as I've ever been. So, but it's, you know, high tide, you could probably ease back in there and go check all that out. A lot of wood back in there, looks like. But I'm gonna ease out of here. Haven't caught anything up in the marsh. A lot of bait flipping everywhere. Mullet. Haven't really seen anything feeding on them, but there is a lot of bait. So let's head out to the intercoastal waterway. See if I can't catch a flounder or something like that. Flounder, last time I was out fishing, flounder bite. I caught 2 on incoming high tide. So I got about an hour left before high tide is done. So I'm gonna fish the high tide, go my normal spot, see if I can't catch a couple flounder. Couldn't get anything up in the creek, so like I told you, gonna move out in the intercoastal, a little bit cleaner looking water. Gonna fish this little area right here, see if we can't catch a flounder. Redfish, fish up around that dock there, them pylons and everything. See if we can't catch something in here. It's right by the Coast Guard station here in Mayport, so let's see what happens. Hopefully I don't get run off. I've never really fished here before. Not sure if the Coast Guard will run me off or let me fish here, but I'm gonna ease in here real. Get shallow. This goes up and gets pretty shallow. A bunch of rocks right there. A lot of people fish from the bank right there. So we're gonna see. got to be 14 inches. Decent bite here. Gotta be hopefully it's a little red. Mud minnow. Little bitty redfish. Rat red. Well, not very successful day today. We had one good redfish, but he broke me off on the pylons. You guys seen me fish this spot before on plenty of my YouTube. Fished everywhere today that I could think of. Most of my other spots didn't produce anything. Pulled in here right at, what was it? Right at top of high tide. As tide started going out, I hooked into one flounder, and he right over here, and he came off on the boat, right here at the boat, which is always, he was a nice one too, 16, 17 inches, looked like to me, but you know, that's fishing. Hooked another good redfish right over there on those pylons, and he took drag, and then he cut my line on the barnacles and all the stuff on the pylons. So, and it was a good redfish. It was taking drag. It was a solid redfish. And I hooked one flounder, got him in the boat. So he's in the boat. Hooked another little rat red. He was under slot, so I couldn't keep him. So, but that's it. It's 3 o'clock, time to head in. So got here at about 9, and not a very good day. Mud minnows and shrimp, fish finding rigs. What was tackle center today, what we did with tackle. So we're gonna go in, get the boat cleaned up, clean that flounder. Boat's on the trailer, everything looking good so far. Then I found this earlier today when I was at B&M. So wheel bearing. I'll be doing that tomorrow at the house, but everything else looks good. Clean the flounder. I guess I'll clean the flounder tomorrow. What? Oh, here. We have FWC. Look at these ladies. I only got one 15-inch flounder. Yeah. No offshore today.
No offshore. We're some biologists doing our state.
Yeah, I know. I've been, you know, I see you guys all the time. Well, I don't know if it's you guys, but
we're out here.